Thank you for joining me for our edification. I'm Eddie Francis. Joining me is Christine D. Ross. She is a health and wellness coach and also an author. She's the host also of the podcast, the Radiate Health and Wellness Podcast. Hey, Christine, how are you?
Hi, Eddie. I'm doing great today. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Okay, I have to tell you, I don't know. I was on one of these platforms, Facebook groups. I think it might have been a Facebook group, and you put a call out for people to tell their stories, their health and wellness stories. And I raised my hand and said, hey, I found out I have ADHD at 53 years old. And so you found that to be pretty interesting. And I had the honor of appearing on your podcast. And so I went to your website and saw that you have an interesting story. And your life is about health and wellness, and there are a lot of people do health and wellness work, but I really would love to hear your story, besides the fact that you love, yeah, I mean, besides the fact you live in beautiful Hawaii. um what got you started on this journey of health and wellness? How did you get so dedicated to
Oh, wow. My answer could take the next hour or more.
That's why we
Let's
do the
just start out with
podcast.
yes, yes. So, my whole journey with being a coach to begin with started with I had a friend that was just very inspiring, just so beautiful inside and out. And just from my young eyes, I wanted to be like her and do what she was doing. So she got me set up with the training that she went to start being a coach. And so I started doing that. And this training is one that took a few years to do. And within that time of the training is when I lost my brother due to suicide. That
Hmm.
he had made a cocktail full of prescription pills and had numbed himself to the end. So that really just opened my eyes and my awareness to be able to assist people with what is going on in their lives, to change those thoughts, patterns, and behaviors to from the negative to more of a positive approach, to be able to know you can get through things, not feel the judgment, or to be able to put blocks on allowing that judgment to come in, to know that it doesn't matter.
Hmm.
So it started with that, with being an empowerment coach and a life coach. And I was that with this company in Utah for about 4 or 5 years. And then me and my husband, we made the wonderful move to Hawaii to experience something different than living in Utah, where it was cold. And we just wanted to feel a little bit more just culture and diversity and just warm weather.
Hmm.
So, a few years after moving to Hawaii, I was given my big, just second wake up call for living my purpose of my passion to assist people in creating just wellness in their lives. And that wake up call came in the form of breast cancer.
Hmm.
And as I sat with myself in, I mean, just all the contemplation, the emotional roller coaster, the ups and downs of everything that entitled, I just knew that there had to be a purpose in me having this disease in my body, and just create the mind shift of I had cancer, but cancer
Hmm.
didn't have me. And if I had cancer and had control of it, then I can make a purpose from it. And there was a moment that I was just in deep contemplation and meditation where I put my hand over that lump and just sent it love, just gratitude, just knowing that it had a bigger, higher, deeper purpose for me than I could ever understand at that time.
Hmm.
And from that, just the passion to be able to assist others in living a healthy lifestyle, to prevent themselves from ever having to be in that place, one of the hardest things I remember doing was having to tell my loved ones that I had cancer, that I didn't know what this monster was that was living inside of me. I, I couldn't answer their questions. I
Hmm.
didn't know the answers.
Yeah.
But if I can somehow just assist others, whether to prevent ever having to go down that path, or also once they do get that diagnosis, to assist people to find that lesson within it so that they can learn from it and grow. So,
Mhm.
yeah, there we go. There's my long story made short there for you.
Yeah, no, that is definitely a lot, and I mean a lot for you. You know, that is a lot for you to have endured losing someone, and then to find out that you have this diagnosis. For a lot of people, Christine, they find out one of those things, and I think it's just natural. You know, where we get angry. Um, some people get bitter, some people become very cynical. You made the shift though to wanting to help others and to wanting to empower others. What was that like, and how were you able to make that kind of shift?
Well, I was already an empowerment coach. So I had
Mhm.
those tools and took those tools to be able to work on myself through it. As far as anger, I didn't really have that. That
Mhm.
I was able to change my cognitive thinking just years before and in the trainings that I went through to where I didn't have the anger. What maybe there was is I went from this spot of I was indestructible. I mean, I was healthy, I was fit, I was young, I exercised, I ate what I thought was healthy. And then suddenly, boom, cancer. Like that was just like such a smack to
Yeah, that
me.
had to be mind-boggling.
Yes. Yeah. And so to just be able to assist people with that, I went into more education and training, got
Mhm.
my certification through ACE to be a health and wellness coach too. And then I just explored further, got extra credentials in being a behavioral change and nutrition and I mean just being a whole foods cook and
Mhm.
just kept on picking and learning and just wanting to know more and more. And I'm still that way, just wanting to learn more. So, as far as getting my voice out there and being heard, I mean, that's also been a struggle for me and something totally new that I got to raise myself out from that shell and put myself out there. And so, in doing, I first started with writing a book, Discover the Adventure of You, that really
Mhm.
goes through. I mean, it starts out with gratitude, finding daily gratitude in every single day at different aspects of your life. And then there's different affirmations that go along with that. And then just chapters on what are your values? What are your beliefs? Working over addictions, finding your triggers. I mean, just
Mhm.
the all the subconscious things that you're doing. So instead of living your life on this autopilot, just not knowing what you're doing, how you're getting from here to there, to really be conscious, put yourself in the driver's seat and aware
Mhm.
of your vehicle, the gas you're putting into it, and the surroundings around you that they can be sustainable.
Mhm.
So, I mean, that's just kind of like a big idea of what both of my books are. So Discover the Adventure of You and Health Beams. And Health Beams is as much smaller, simpler version to step into if you're not really quite ready to take that deep look into yourself.
Mhm.
So my books and then writing blogs, doing podcasts, just anything I can to just spread health and wellness. Just knowing that there's always at least one individual out there that the message that I have, that I'm writing today, that I'm talking about today, that there's just one person out there that this message is meant for and is going to hear and will turn their life around. And so that's why I do it.
What do you say to somebody though? Because living a life of gratitude is a great thing. That person who says, "You know what? I am I'm in poor health. Um I live in kind of a crappy situation. I live in a crappy neighborhood. My job is a hassle. I'm always stressed. What do I have to be grateful for?" How do you answer a question like that?
Wow, that's a great question. What's going right? What is going right in your body? Put your
Yeah.
hand on your chest. You feel that heart beating for you that is giving you life, and just feel the appreciation that you have for that. So that as long as your heart is beating, giving you life, it's causing all the other amazing little miracles to occur in your body to be able
Mhm.
to, I mean, it's giving you purpose. As
Mhm.
long as that heart's beating, you have some purpose, and have, I think that's a great place to start with having gratitude that
Yeah.
everybody has. I mean, if you're alive and breathing, you got a heart that's beating.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Do you ever get to a point where you're helping all these other folks, and do you ever get to this point where you start to you have to remind yourself to give yourself just as much as you give other people?
I mean, that all just goes down to flying on an airplane. You're told to put your oxygen mask on first before assisting other people. That is one thing that I do prioritize, is
Yeah.
taking care of myself first. To, first thing in the morning, enjoy my little cup of coffee with my dog Bodie by my side and just have that time of just reflection. And then I I guess as I'm helping myself, I'm also helping out Bodhi, because then the next thing is going for a walk. But that's really my time to, it's a walking meditation to just be out in nature. And whether I'm using all my five senses, earbuds off, and just feeling the air on my skin if it starts to sprinkle, because it does that a lot here in Hawaii, to
Mhm.
really just feel it and just feel the warm and the cool air patterns and the gardenia in the air. And just, so to me, that's me coming alive so I can step in and assist other people.
Yeah. Yeah. I Okay, so first of all, let me just say Bodie looks really comfortable. It looks like Bodie lives a good life because he is knocked out behind you right now.
I know.
Bodie is having doggy dreams right now. So, you
Yeah.
mentioned using your five senses. That is one of those things that I have always been fascinated by, whether I'm watching some movie or something, or I listen to, I love doing yoga, and people talk about being present in the moment. And that is really hard for me sometimes. On your podcast, I talked about my ADHD and how my ADHD kicks in when people are trying to get me to quiet my mind. And I'm going, no, but what am I going to have for dinner tonight?
Yeah.
um, so how can someone, how can someone get themselves to that place where they are experiencing all of their senses, and they can get to their point to quiet the mind? Because I do see that do see that if somebody's able to get to that spot, they are in a very, very, very healthy place, right? That is what that means to me. And as a coach, how do you walk people through that, and how do you get them to at least start to get into that kind of routine, or that kind of habit of experiencing the five senses, or the, all the senses, and being able to, really experience the world, the world as it is, and quiet their minds.
So to begin with, as a coach,
Wait, I
I
said
don't know
five
the
senses. Wait, how
answers.
many senses do we have? We have six, right? All right. Anyway, go ahead. You take it from
Do you
here,
know what? We
coach.
might have a dozen. We don't know.
Go,
So it's
coach.
just a
Go. I asked you
number
the
we made
question.
up.
Go, coach.
So as a coach, I don't have any of the answers.
Hmm.
So what I do is I ask the questions because the clients of mine, you know yourself so much better than I could possibly know you,
Oh,
that if I
yeah.
can ask the right questions, that you can do your internal dialogue, and together we can narrow this down of why you're not able to focus and what can actually assist you to focus, or not even focus. Let's just be empty minded, right? We're talking about meditation or something
Hmm.
here, to
Hmm.
quiet the mind. What is it that's going to work you best? And it's just a matter of trial and error. So,
Yeah, that's yeah. I appreciate that approach. Um, that it really seems that what you're doing, it's almost as if what you're doing is you're walking backwards and you're telling someone to follow your voice. But then what they have to do is they still have to make up their minds that they're going to walk forward. It kind of feels like that. You're not necessarily taking them by the hand and yanking them forward,
nope.
um, but you're just being that guide, and then you're letting them determine for themselves that they can build their confidence. I mean, is that something that you've been able to see people do? The more that they're able to figure out how to experience their senses, the more they're able to figure out how to quiet their minds. Do you feel that they build more confidence that way?
Oh, absolutely. And part of my big things with being able to quiet your mind is to be able to tune into yourself, to
Mhm.
stop that internal dialogue that's just a negative chatter, and be
Mhm.
able to tune into that part of you that is your true authentic being, who you were day one, before that, possibly depending on your beliefs,
Mhm.
to just come in tune with that and find your answers that work best for you from there. And
Mhm.
as you can do that on a more frequent basis, just the from the most complex to the simplest of life's problems, you have the confidence, that self love, to know that you have it all within yourself to do whatever it is that you desire, whatever questions you have your own answers. You just got to
Mm.
find it. You just got to tune in.
Mm, I love that. I love that. You're listening to for our edification. I'm Eddie Francis, and we are talking to Christine D. Ross, and she is a health and wellness coach. She's an author, and she's also host of the podcast Radiate Health and Wellness. So, one of the things I saw and looking at some of your podcast titles, and I did watch a couple episodes, and one of the things that I noticed is that you are really into food as medicine. um what is your favorite medicine? What is your favorite food that you use as medicine?
Oh, I'm definitely a foodie. Yes. People are surprised, like, oh, but you're too thin to be a great cook. Like, hey, never trust a skinny cook. Like, well, I can prove you wrong on that one. Oh, my. So, my favorite food as medicine would definitely be, I mean, not a specific food, but how about a food group as
Hmm.
fruits and vegetables and colors, to be able to get such an array of colors into your diets. I mean, not coming from artificial things like
Hmm.
Fruit Loops, but real fruit.
Hmm.
So, yes, just start there. Incorporate at least 30 different types of fruits and vegetables into your diet each week. And this can be easy. I mean, one single day, you're probably doing this, especially if you think about the different spices and, I mean, just simple little things like garlic, onion, so
Hmm.
many easy things that you probably could just incorporate in everything.
Okay, I love to cook. Do you have a favorite spice?
Do I have a favorite spice?
Yes.
Oh,
What's the
anything
go-to?
spicy. I love adding spice. So I grow Hawaiian chili peppers here, and just
Oh,
one little thing can, I mean, just overpower everything. But I throw in two or three of those because I just love the spice.
That sounds intriguing.
Kind of like a
Okay.
ghost pepper, but it's a little red Hawaiian chili pepper. It's what you put in like a green papaya salad. It's the spice in that.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So with the kind of work that you do, the coaching and especially with helping people see food as medicine, what is it that you do, especially having had some of the setbacks that you've had? What do you do to be a better Christine, on a daily basis? What kinds of things do you feel help develop you personally and professionally?
I don't know why I'm stuck on this question. What do I do to, I mean, it's just being able to take the time for myself, like I say to begin with, for each morning, just waking up and spending that time to take care of myself first, to eat healthy, fuel my body, to exercise it, to
Hmm.
do the necessities to stay healthy. But at the end of the day, if there's if like say if I go out to eat, there isn't anything that looks really nutritious on that menu
Hmm.
to be able to give myself, I call it the 90% rule, to be able to allow myself to go outside of what I would say is perfect and let myself indulge a little bit. And that's
Hmm.
going to be okay. And you know what? If I get cancer again, it's not because of this, a few times I eat something that's not in a restrictive diet or something. And then the other thing I do is really just use mindfulness. What does my body feel
Hmm.
like today? Does it really just deserve to rest?
Hmm.
Or is it feeling drained because I get to go and jump in the pool, find some fresh air, get out there, build up some endurance somehow?
Hmm.
And as far as eating, to just eat mindfully, stop when I'm feeling 80% full. And also after like I say, if I go out to that restaurant, get something with, a little extra cheese and what my body's used to, how do I feel after that? And
Hmm.
take that mental note of it to remember that in the future of, okay, I overindulged last time. That did not feel good. There was definitely consequences, but not say never again have that. But how about next time it's just a couple bites? To just be okay with that. Because I've also learned that, I mean, to begin with, when I had cancer and I went on a very strict vegan diet, and it was stressful. And there
I was
was
going to
this
ask you.
learning
Yeah.
point that
Yeah.
I just said, do you know what? The stress that I am causing myself, it just seems so much more harmful than if I just allowed myself a little bit more convenience.
Yeah, I mean, because I mean, for any illness, the stress isn't good for any illness at all.
No.
Period. So yeah, that's a bit of a vicious cycle to say, okay, I'm going to do this thing differently, but I'm gonna stress myself out trying to make myself better, which that doesn't work. Do you find you mentioned New Orleans, we love to indulge here. We love to indulge. Do you find with coaching clients that you've had, it can be very difficult for them to make that determination that I have eaten and I do feel, as you said, 80% full. Okay, it's okay to stop. Do you find that with clients that you have to really talk them through that and get them to understand, really help them understand that you really do have to listen to your body?
Oh, for sure. And with those ones, it's the all or nothing mentality. If you're given
Yeah.
a, if you're allowing yourself to eat one cookie, they can't do that. It's got to be the entire box of Oreos. But to be able
Yeah.
to, yeah, it's all that goes to that cognitive behavior therapy and working through it.
What have you learned the most about yourself on your journey?
Balance. That it's
Really?
best to stay in balance, to be able to, I mean, like, as I say, to begin with on my journey, I had this mentality that I was indestructible. I was healthy and everything, nothing could happen. And then I mean, the world crashed down on me. To then I went to the other end of the pendulum where every little thing, my back hurts, this mole is new, like, oh no, I've got cancer again. And I was just
Yeah.
constantly, I felt like in the doctor's office of check this out. This doesn't seem right. Is this normal? To be
Yeah.
able to find that sweet spot that is healthy, that I'm not naive to anything and dismissing everything, but I'm
Hmm.
not taking everything as just worrying and stressing and thinking about the worst outcome, to just the
Hmm.
balance in the middle. And that goes along with food and exercise, community,
Hmm.
to just create that balance, that sweet spot within.
Hmm. Do you have how much do you have to monitor your social circle with the kind of coaching you do, your viewpoints on health and wellness, food? How much do you have to monitor your circle of friends or acquaintances?
Oh, I mean, that's a fun one because it all just depends on that relationship and where we see each other. And it's not just because recent, but throughout my life, I feel like I'm either on somebody's pedestal or I'm the blunt of their joke. And
Well, I was
so
going to
trying to
ask
find
you.
that.
Wait, hold on. Okay, so do you have the people around you who are like, "Oh God, whatever you do, do not eat a burger around Christine"?
Yes, yes, yes. Uh-huh. Like,
And I
just
mean,
be yourself.
but you're not playing food police with people, are you?
No, 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 and that's one of my things too is I don't want to be the one telling anybody that they should do this, should do that. I don't want
Yeah,
to should over anyone because nobody likes to be should upon. So
yeah.
all I can do is be an example and inspiration of, hey, this is what I'm doing. I'm feeling great. I'm healthy. And other people can see that. I don't need to tell them what to do. If
I mean, it
they can
is.
see
I mean,
what
it's
they're feeling,
it's really funny because I've gone out with folks, and I'm not a vegetarian. I'm not a vegan. I mean, I will eat a cow and or a chicken or whatever, but I have friends who are vegan. I have friends who are vegetarians. I have friends who are pescatarians. And I don't feel they don't make me feel as if there's stuff I shouldn't be doing. Like I don't feel like they're looking at me crazy if I order a steak. you know, but I what I do appreciate about them is that we can all sit at the same table and eat our different meals and nobody's going to have a commentary. Now, I will say this, Christine, I have been around the people who have just put you on a serious guilt trip about your plate, and you're just sitting there like, could you please mind your business? But I do wonder from your standpoint as somebody who has as somebody who has taken up the mantle of being a health and wellness coach, and especially as someone who has had to recover from an illness, I do wonder from your standpoint, what is it like when you do have that person around you who feels really, really guilty that they decided to order, I don't know, fried fish or fried chicken or something like that, and they feel like the Christine D. Ross health thunderbolt is going to hit them in the head or something. I just, I just wonder what that's like for you though, when you have those people around you who are afraid that you think that who they're afraid that they think that you are going to guilt trip them about what's on their plate.
Well, my question would be is why are you hanging around me to begin with? If you feel like I'm that way around you, then this isn't a healthy relationship. So dismiss that.
Yeah, yeah. So, just so you know, no pressure around Christine. She's not staring at your plate and she's not staring at you with disapproval. You do what you do and she does what she does. Is that a fair way to put it?
Yeah, you do you. And if you want assistance to be able to feel better, and if you ask for my support, I'll do that.
Yes. She will even help you dislodge that bone from your throat. Um, so okay, so this is a question that I love to ask my guests. And that is, let's say that you are a skywriter and you get up in your plane, you fly up. What is a message that you want to write in the sky for all of humanity for their edification?
Be open to all possibilities, love, and forgive.
Oh, that's really cool. If anyone wanted to learn more about you, how can they get in touch with you?
So on my podcast, Radiate Health and Wellness Podcast, my website, radiatehealthandwellness.com. You can email me, radiate.hw@gmail.com, Instagram, Facebook, either under Christine Ross, Christine Davis Ross, or Christine D. Ross. So,
Cool beans. And all of that information in the show notes for the podcast. Christine, thank you so, so much for joining me on For Our Edification. Oh, Bodie is up. Hey, Bodie. Um,
turning around, getting comfortable again.
he's not interested. Okay, yeah, that was just a shift. Thank you so much for joining me on the podcast.
All right, you're so welcome. Thank you for having me, Eddie. I appreciate it.